Hi Gems, Happy New Year. My name is Tawana. If you're new here, welcome back to the channel. If you are a returning subscriber, today I'm doing a reading for you and it can resonate with you if you have a Gemini Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus sign. This reading is a timeless reading, so it is valid for whenever you see it. And I will be using the Angel Answers Oracle deck, the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck, the Radiant Wilds Atlas Tarot deck, and the CCC Tiny Book of Affirmations. I may or may not pull a card from the Wisdom of the Oracle. It depends on how I feel at the end of the reading. But with that said, let's get into your reading. I've already pulled your cards, so the first card we have is what is already with you. This card feels very, let's stay in the present. Let's deal with what is right here, right now. Let's deal with the reality. Let's ground into the present moment. I feel like this card is talking to me about presence and what is existing right now, not what we hope for, not what we are wishing for, not what we are anticipating, but what is existing right now, right here. And then the second card is Focus on the Light, which is interesting because some Taurus got this reading and it always just makes me chuckle how the readings go into each other, flow into each other. Signs are dealing with the same things, but in like slightly different ways. And I feel like this is an example of that, because in the Taurus reading, this card came out and it was for Taurus to focus on dreaming again, focus on the positive things. It was almost like their guides were saying, don't lose your dream, don't lose the ability to dream. And that's why it was so important for them to continue to like focus on something uplifting or positive thoughts or whatever light looks like to each individual. But in your reading, this card is almost talking to me about, it just feels like the situation may not be ideal. A situation may not be ideal. You may not want to deal with something. You may not want to deal with someone, because we have the collaborative dreaming card with beside that, which makes me feel like this is a collaborative manifestation. You're dealing with your part, their part, multiple influences possibly. It feels like this focus on the light is, there's something to learn from everything. There's something to learn from difficult things. There's something to learn from things that aren't ideal. And it's like your guides are saying there's something to learn here, and maybe add to your toolkit or your tool belt for another situation. It's all for your learning. So you don't have to shy away from confronting it or being in the present. Or maybe this is some of you guys disassociating from like leaving the physical body because an experience may be too heavy or just may not be pleasant, because sometimes that happens to us. So yeah, it's like gems, be in your body. There's something to learn here. There, even if it may not feel good, there's something here. All right, so jumping into the tarot cards. The first set of cards we have are the Five of Swords, and it's clarified by the Four of Wands. I'm thinking the games people play. That's what is immediately at the front and center of my thoughts, out of nowhere. The games people play. So I don't know if that will resonate for any one of you. Maybe someone is playing games, maybe. But if it feels like the Four of Wands and the Five of Swords feels like some mental conflict, or maybe this is some mental conflict surrounding something that you are working on with another person. So that could be a relationship, that could be a home, it could be anything that you are working on jointly with someone else. Usually the Four of Wands talks about a sense of belonging and even celebration. So it could, in a very practical sense, be a home dynamic or home situation for a lot of you. But it feels like there are, it's like the intentions aren't being discussed openly in this home environment. Like everybody has different intentions. Everyone has different viewpoints. Everyone has different agendas in this situation, this home dynamic. It almost feels like what is supposed to be peaceful, what is supposed to be a celebratory thing, what is supposed to bring many people a sense of belonging is not. And beside that, we have the Two of Pentacles and the Five of Wands, which is almost like this could be like managing conflict within a home environment, or having to manage multiple agendas within a home environment. Like this feels like a shared space or a shared creation or a shared project, and like having to deal with everyone and their opinion, everyone and their voices, everyone and the conflict that comes with collaborating. It's like, you know that saying, too many chefs in the kitchen? Not that there are too many chefs in the kitchen, but the point of that is when there are many people in a situation, it's a little bit more challenging than when there are a few people there. So that's what this feels like. And maybe you're having to like manage that. It feels like a project management, to be honest, depending on how many people are involved in this project, this home environment, whatever. It feels very, maybe everyone isn't on the same page. And then we have the Ace of Wands and the Page of Swords. And maybe you're like realizing this. This is a moment where it's dawning on you that there are games that are being played, whatever that means or looks like to all of you. I don't know what that means. It just came and I just said it. Yeah, but it feels right to me. Okay, the games people play. It's like you're waking up to that. You're waking up to that reality. You're waking up that this is happening. You're waking up to that in the shared dynamic. For others of you, this feels like you're inspired to, based on what you found out, to heal the home dynamic, or to, it's like you're inspired to like air it out, to bring it in the open. And then we have the King of Cups, the King of Cups, the Nine of Wands, and the Eight of Swords. For some of you, this is a person, and for some of you, this is you, and others of you, this is just how you feel. It's like you're realizing how you feel within a home dynamic, or within a space that is shared, or within a group project, or within a collaboration. And it's in the identification of how you feel that I feel like you'll be inspired to take your next steps, to do your next move, to make your next decision. Because I feel like this is like, the King of Cups to me is coming up as, which the King of Wands always comes up to me as a perspective card. But in this particular reading, it's like the King of Cups is having a very specific experience and a very specific perspective based on the things that they're feeling. And this might be you. It's almost like you have your guard up, and you're not supposed to have your guard up in this very celebratory environment. These are supposed to be your people. This is supposed to be your project. You're not supposed to feel so wary. You're not supposed to feel so tired. You're not supposed to feel like you have to protect yourself so much in an environment that is supposed to bring you this sense of abundance, this sense of belonging. Think about the safest place that you have in your life, or the place that you feel the safest. It's usually home, right? Which is what this card represents. And it's almost like you or someone else, if you're not this King of Cups, is identifying that they don't feel that way. You don't feel that way. You feel stuck in your thoughts, you overthink things, and you guard yourself for whatever reason. Maybe this involves because there are too many chefs in the kitchen. So I think, and I actually think that King of Cups was a representation of how you feel, and not necessarily a person. But for some of you, that is going to be a person in your reality. So just pick how this applies to your personal story. But I think this is you, the Queen of Swords, in your air energy. It's clarified by the Eight of Cups and the Devil. And this is you, I feel like, making it all of a sudden feels very clear to you that you have to step out of this dynamic. You have to step out of this, because now you see all of the games that people are playing. Now it's almost like you identify the devil. You identify the devil, which is what is probably toxic in the situation, or what is probably harmful to you, intentionally or unintentionally. And it's like you're deciding to exit, to leave it, to stop participating in it. Regardless, I feel like you're very clear now. Like you're illuminated and you see things for exactly what they are in the dynamic with the others. And it's making you very self-protective and wanting to like end the situation and leave as quickly as you possibly can. Seven of Wands, Ten of Swords. I almost feel like this is probably making you extremely self-protective, because now you almost feel like somewhere that brought you this sense of belonging, or someone that was supposed to be there for you, or some people or some place that was supposed to be there for you, truly is not. Or maybe they have every intention to be, but it's just not possible for them. This could be something that's not even personal. Maybe someone's not or people aren't trying to harm you. It's just the environment when there's so many people in it. It like, maybe it causes an energetic mismatch, and that affects you, and that's what you're like tuning into. Or maybe practically people just aren't treating you the way that you'd like to be treated within the dynamic. And so yeah, I feel like you're becoming very self-protective and possibly even shutting down as a result of that. But the thing is, I would usually say like this, don't shut down, Geminis, but I almost feel like it's in this shutting down that is what's going to bring you the recognition. Like you'll have to take a moment. This will probably take a moment for you. This is probably going to take a moment for you. It's probably not going to be easy, but it's in the shutting down moment where you'll truly recognize the toxicities. You'll truly recognize things that are harmful to you. You'll truly recognize the things that have not served you in this dynamic with these other people. And I feel like that's the moment where you'll truly be able to face it. Maybe this is not something that's easy to face. But I feel like it's in this self moment or this isolation that you truly see, and you're able to choose something else. And then we end the reading on the last row here with the Queen of Wands and the Six of Wands, which I feel like is another representation of you, the Queen of Swords. And this is where it's almost like you're illuminated. You're illuminated to the many different perspectives that people have. You're illuminated to the many different agendas. You're illuminated to the many different conflicts, microaggressions, different perspectives, different viewpoints that people have. And I feel like that is where you'll get your success, because now you know what to do. Now you know how to move. Now you know what decisions to make. Now you know what next steps are going to serve you. Now you can create a more successful version of whatever this Four of Wands is, whatever this home is, this relationship is, this project is. Now it feels like you can create it more successfully. And if this was a relationship dynamic and this was a person, the King of Cups, this feels like the other person that you're dealing with and maybe having realizations about misaligned intentions that maybe you didn't see until now. I think it's almost like this is now where you bring it into the open, or the other person brings it into the open. The Knight of Swords and the Hanged One. You guys get to talk about this. Maybe this is a while after you left the situation. Now you're like able to like vocalize your feelings, vocalize your reasoning, your rationale. And I see that. I love the way we're ending this reading, because I can clearly see that now you see, and you're able to move yourself out of this situation, out of this dynamic, and onto a space that feels more peaceful and more calm to you, which is how this moment or this place or this project should feel. You're like moving into the peace that you are truly deserving of, but you needed to see it first. You needed to really see what was happening in the dynamics around you before you're able to move into this space of peace. This is moving on from deceit, lies, trickery, things being hidden from you. And it's funny because in the Taurus reading, we started the reading with the Six of Swords, and Taurus's reading was about finally moving into a peaceful space in their lives and not trusting that peace because they've been through so much. And it's like in your reading, you're identifying, it's like your homework is to identify all of the things that are harmful to you so that you can move towards peace. And that's where this focus on the light is coming from. Focus on the positivity. It's like identifying what is toxic so that this is like a learning experience for you. So maybe in your next Four of Wands, in your next situation, in your next home, in your next group project, in your next whatever the Four of Wands is for you, you've like added something else to your tool belt. Like now you have this experience and you learned through this, and you know what to avoid and what to embrace for this peace in your next assignment, your next manifestation, whatever is next for you. So let's get some advice. Spirit guides, angels, ancestors. What's the advice for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus? If this Knight of Wands is a person, this is the benefit of watching the entire reading, because I felt like the reading was done until I was just like, no, there's something else to say. All right, so if this Knight of Wands, Knight of Swords is a person, it feels like you're finally seeing them. You're finally like seeing them in a different, seeing the situation, seeing the whatever you shared with them in a different perspective. And I feel like you're able to move on to a healthier space, either with them or without them, after what you've seen. All right, one more card. Advice for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. I'm going to take that. All right, so the first card we have is If You Believe. The next card we have is You're Ready. And the next card we have is Get More Information. Why do I feel like this is like a decision that you're being prepared for? Like you're being prepared for something. Someone is telling you something. It does make sense if you're like moving on from the Seven of Swords with this person, if you're dealing with them. But that's your advice. And I always forget to pull the affirmation cards. I said I'd pull affirmation cards for Taurus and I forgot. So let's do it for you. I'll probably do something special for Taurus only in the next set of readings. Maybe I'll do a bonus reading for Taurus. Depends. All right. Affirmations for Gemini. What do you want Gemini to affirm? All right. Got a couple for you. All right. We have 2 blank cards, so I'm going to put these back, which those cards usually come out. The creator of the deck created blank cards for personal affirmation, so maybe you need to create a few for yourself. All right, but we have 3 for you. And the first one is, it's an honor to serve myself, which is so in perfect alignment with this reading. Second one is, I am patient with and proud of my body. And the third one is, showtime for me starts right now. So Geminis, I'm going to leave you here. I really hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.